Hello world, Alexandre Buckley here, and let's talk games. So the Dreamcast was the last official console release from Sega, not including the numerous variations of the Sega Mega Drive Mini, or the Mega Classic Drive, or the Genesis Unique, because every company has released a Mini, including Sega themselves. So ignoring all those retro reboots and everything like that, the last official console that came out from them was the Dreamcast. And the console launched in 1999, but it had an incredibly short life cycle and ended in 2001. Despite this, it had an awesome selection of games, and these titles should be remembered and, more importantly, revived. So with that in mind, here are the 5 Dreamcast games that need to be remastered. Number 5, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Sonic Adventure was at the time a groundbreaking title. It was the next big evolution of Sonic, and it was designed to truly show off what the Dreamcast could do. Full disclosure though, Sonic Adventure 1 wasn't a great title, and it had moments of excellence, but it was largely disappointing. It had this really kind of dodgy sort of camera that was all over the shop, had some fiddly controls, and it had some really odd creative choices which you can probably find on YouTube somewhere. That being said though, Sonic Adventure 2 on the other hand corrected many of these mistakes in the first installment. It still wasn't flawless, but it was a lot better. And these titles they represent Sega's attempt to try and fully move Sonic into the next generation, make him fully 3D and focus more on puzzles and story than the previous titles, which were more sort of arcade-based things. These games are really fun, they're still really good, and they can easily be improved on. And that's really what you want from a remaster. You want them to be a nice sort of reimagining of a classic title that gives a new audience just the great chance and experience to try these classic games and just polish up a few of the flawed parts as well. So it'd be really interesting to see what someone could do by bringing these back out and remastering them. Number 4, Crazy Taxi 1 and 2. So I'm kind of cheating, as you can tell, my first entry and now my second entry. I want 2 games bundled into one package basically, Crazy Taxi 1 and Crazy Taxi 2. Crazy Taxi is by all accounts probably the simplest game ever created on the planet next to Frogger. All you do is drive around and find passengers, and then you try and drop them off as quickly as possible. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. The goal is simple: try and make as much cash as humanly possible before your time runs out. It is stupidly fun, and it's just awesome. That's the easiest way to put it. It's simply awesome, it has great controls, and it's just amazing. It's been ported to every platform at this point. You can get it on your mobile, which is insane. In fact, there's a video on that, so check out that video as well if you want to see what it plays like on your phone. That's insane. But it never got a real remaster, so it'd be really interesting to see what someone could do by taking a modern approach to this game. It'd just be incredible to see this polished up with some new graphics, maybe even tweak the gameplay a little bit, but to be honest with you, it's pretty much a flawless game. Number 3, Soul Calibur. You will be hard pushed to find a better fighting game. This was a groundbreaking title, and it still holds up today as well. This just felt like the arcade had somehow been invaded and put into your living room. It was a truly excellent title. It was a sequel to Soul Edge, and this game just improved on what was essentially a very solid foundation. And this title gave us a new, innovative control system. Pulling off combinations was a breeze compared to some of the other fighting games at the time, and more importantly, they had a really good blocking system, so it enabled you to defend yourself, which other games it kind of didn't really have a blocking system at the time. I remember a lot of games you just kind of had to jump backwards, and that was basically it. This was one of the first games I remember you could actually actively, easily block attacks and stuff quite comfortably, even if you were a novice. So it was a really good title for you to sink your teeth into. But it was also a title that really rewarded the gamers that wanted to put that little bit of extra effort in to really try and master the controls. Number 2, Typing of the Dead. So I found this game in a second-hand bin in Game, and for those of you that are international, Game is the equivalent of, I guess, GameStop that you guys have in the States and stuff like that. Basically a game shop, essentially. It was in the bargain bin, it cost £5, and I thought, well, why not? The game essentially was a House of the Dead spin-off, and House of the Dead was this light gun series that you often see in the arcades. So for those of you that don't know, because arcades aren't really around, light gun is basically a plastic gun. You shot the screen, killed people and enemies. The end. However, what they did with this game is they replaced the light gun with a keyboard. Seriously, that's why it was called Typing of the Dead. I know what you're thinking. What do you mean typing? What do you mean? Well, instead of the gun shooting people, You literally had to quickly type to shoot enemies. That is mental. But you know what? Despite it being ridiculous, despite it being bonkers, it was so fun and it was so addictive to do. And it was actually quite difficult to do as well. It was when I say difficult, I mean the level progression, it went up. And it wasn't like you could just keep typing the same words over and over again or just smash the keyboard. You actually type certain phrases in. It was excellent. It's great fun. And it's one of those games that I just think you could only ever find on a Dreamcast, because Dreamcast in the day had this sort of reputation of being like a unique and innovative console. It really gave developers a chance to be a bit more creative with their titles. And this is one of the titles that I always think of when I think of the Dreamcast. I just think this only would have come out on the Dreamcast, because that's kind of what Dreamcast did. It had this weird reputation for releasing oddball titles that were normally really good. So this is one of them. I'd love to see someone remaster this and just, bring it to modern day standards. And number one, which is no surprise to anyone, is Jet Set Radio. For my money, this is the most original title on the Dreamcast. Probably the best title on the Dreamcast, maybe, arguably. I mean, there's one other that's really obvious, but I'll leave it to you. So when this was released, I couldn't remember seeing anything like this before on a home console. It just had this really unique art style and these awesome visuals and such a great world to get lost in. However, the experience was a lot more deeper than just, it's a pretty looking game I want to run around in. In a nutshell, you had to evade police while graffiti in various areas of the city. Very simple, but just beautifully executed. It also had one of the best soundtracks ever. And it was, in many ways, this reminded me a lot of Tony Hawk, not because, the whole skating thing, but because it inspired tons of copycats who then nicked the similar art style and tried to make knockoff versions of this. But it had a great soundtrack, it had easy controls, it did something unique that no one else was doing. And it was just super fun and just super addictive. Very, very easy to play. Very triggers master as well. Excellent game. Everyone should experience this. How they've not done a remaster of this blows my mind, because it's just incredible. And that's going to be my list, guys. So what did you think of my list? I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people going, why did you not include like this and that, and how has he missed off all this other stuff? And you know what, it's difficult to fit fire in basically for a remaster. So if you've got any suggestions, let me know in the comments. I always do like seeing people commenting on these things, because it's interesting to see what people choose. But yeah, leave me a comment. If you like my videos, please hit the like button as well. And if you could do me one more favour, please subscribe, because it helps grow the channel and helps it push it out to more people as well, and helps me build the audience, which would be lovely. That's going to do it for this one, guys. So I'll catch you in the next one. Have a good one. Peace.